be doing the play hard to find. We'll be doing the literacy devices, themes, tone, diction, and imagery. But first of all, let's read the poem. Okay, hard to find. Words are everywhere, daily. We read them and they fly out like nobody's business when we are provoked. But there's always something hard to understand. They are hard to find when they are needed by the heart. When the heart feels, words hide like they are not part of life. While words are busy playing some twisted game, my heart looks sad through the glass windows as the raindrops slowly slide down, gently on a cloudy lifetime, hoping that one day words will realize what my heart wants to say. Wow, it's quite a deep poem full of emotion. But let's go to the background story of this poem. So this is by a South African poet by Sinesipo Jojo, and this is specifically a grade 12 poem. It explores the intense frustration of not being able to find the right words to express deep, heartbreaking emotions, contrasting how easily words flow when we are simply angrily or casually speaking. Okay, let's go through some literacy devices to remember for your exams. So, simile, we all know what a simile is. So, words that use like or has in comparison. Words hide like they are not part of life. So, this is the example from the poem. Okay, hyperbole. Hyperbole is over exaggeration. When someone says something that's too over exaggerated. So the sentence, the line that's in this poem, our words are everywhere, daily. They fly out like nobody's business, okay? That's over exaggerated. Metaphor, a direct comparison without the words like or has. This example here is glass windows for eyes filtering internal sadness to the outside world, okay? Let's go on to the themes. Let's go on to the themes. The central theme of the poem is the inability of language to express profound emotions, pain, and heartbreak. It highlights the sharp contrast between how easily words flow during casual conversation or specifically angry arguments, but how they completely disappear when the heart is sad, when you're feeling emotion, when you go through that heartbreak and that sadness, then your words can't be expressed at those times. So this is the failure of language, leaving the speaker trapped in emotional isolation, showing that true grief often transcends human speech. Okay, so this is the overall theme here that is being presented. Let's go on to the tone. Always remember that the tone is the poet's attitude inside the poem. So the poem is a dominant tone. Okay? The poem is melancholic, frustrated, and deeply sorrowful. The speaker experiences a sense of helplessness, desperation, as words deliberately seem to elude her during the time of greatest need. However, this heavy, somber atmosphere undergoes a quiet shift in the final lines, ending on a note of patient optimism and hope that clarity will eventually come. So let's decode some of the words here to make it more simple. Melancholic is an adjective. Okay, so it's a feeling that is expressed so deeply and pensive that it is prolonged. Okay, it's prolonged sadness. And words like somber means serious. Just in another word, it means serious. So serious atmosphere undergoes a quiet shift. Okay, let's go on to diction. Diction is another word for the choice of words that are used in the poem. So the poet uses simple, accessible, and conversational language, okay? Easy to understand language. To make the internal struggle universal understandable. Okay, universally understandable so everybody can be aware of what the poet is trying to comprehend. Words like everywhere, flying out, and nobody's business create a stark contrast with the heavy silence of the speaker's grief. Okay, so this is ordinary vocabulary effectively highlights how something as common as everyday speech can suddenly become an unreachable luxury when dealing with deep trauma. And lastly, we're going to imagery. So, imagery is the picture that is painted in your mind whenever you hear or read this poem. So, the imagery relies heavily on personification and nature to make the speaker's emotional state visible. Words are personified as cruel, teasing entitles that actively hide and play twisted games that are just out of reach. Additionally, the metaphor of raindrops sliding gently down a glass window beautifully mirrors the speaker's tears falling silently down her cheeks, visualizing her deep internal sorrow. So this is a very sad poem, packed with full of emotions and just full of feelings of heartbreak and sadness, and how that when you are angry or even in normal conversation, words will come so clearly to you. But when you are in deep sadness and sorrow, it's hard to explain and express your feelings. That's basically it for this poem. Please like and subscribe.